Yeah, we are in a impromptu stream live from the whip. I know it's hard to see me, extra lighting, but I just wanted to come on here and explain some things to y'all. If I can get this set up correctly, I want to explain some things to y'all because last night's stream was definitely like that. Last night's streams was definitely cooking, and I still don't think people really understands. And when I say the term understand, I'm not talking about understand how to do, understand what to say. And some people are in desperate, vulnerable situations where they say that to themselves, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. And that, even though it's an innocent mindset, it's very detrimental. It's very detrimental because when you look at yourself and you say you don't have the time, or you say, I got court next week, so I got to hurry up and figure something out. I got to try this. The like that is a very dangerous situation because it's that's the beginning of chasing your tail. That's the beginning of going down these paths that are never ending. Because when you start, when you want to utilize or attack or defend yourself from positions that are advocated for in these spaces, and you're trying to learn as you go, and you're trying to do it while you're in a ongoing legal debt situation, that is actually the worst time to do it. It's actually the worst time. Like, because there is no time for the full understanding of what you're doing, so you can already know how to approach and attack this situation. It's all I got to do something now. It's something that you have to do now. And what I'm trying to tell y'all is, and it's not even your situation that you got to do something now. But the problem that I see is many of these so-called teachers are in the same positions as the students that they are trying to free. And when I say that, I mean understanding and knowledge wise. Like, they can't give you any meaningful advice. They can't give you no meaningful advice. There's no meaningful advice that they can give you. No meaningful advice that they can give you. So all you're doing is you're taking someone else's interpretation in which you haven't vetted to see if they actually know what they're talking about. You haven't vetted to see if they really understand what they're talking about. You haven't vetted to see if, you know, have they been successful first? And it goes back to people are treating, even though a lot of this stuff is promoted online, people are still treating this stuff. They're still treating this stuff like it's an extension of like social media. Hey, this person got a lot of followers, so I'm gonna follow them too. Oh, there's a lot of people that's in the comments and chatting, and I'm a like it too. I'm gonna listen to what this person says because they know they must know what they talking about because they got 50,000 followers. Or I'm gonna take what this person says because they know, because they must have they must know, they must be successful if they got 40,000 people following them. They must be successful. But all I question you to do is just go on Facebook, go on social media, and all these people with a lot of followers, all you have to do is look at how much they talk, how much they post, and then look at the results. What results they show. How much results do they show versus how much talking they do? Hell, do they have degrees? Do they have backgrounds in this stuff? And a lot of them don't, just like me. But do they have professionals that are well qualified in that field to be like, yo, yeah, you definitely right. Like there has to be a measuring stick to the accuracy of what someone's saying instead of just saying, hey, I'm just gonna take what you say because you got a lot of followers, or I like you. 1 second. There has to be more than that. There has to be more than that. Like, come on, y'all. There it has to be more than just I like the person. There has to be something else. It has to be more than, well, they're speaking on something I believe. Like I seen someone post something today about Article 9 UCC. In a mortgage case, you got to prove you're the secure party. You see what I'm saying? It's like stuff like that that I know that argument is going to fall flat on its face in court. Like it's the lawyers are going to chew that up and spit it out. I know this because I've seen them do it too many times. 1 second, let me grab my baby girl. Raya, hold on. Wrong door, Raya. I want you to get on the other side. I just told you. Listen. Take your backpack off. All right. Yeah. All right. Right, you ready to go to the mall
Mhm.
for your birthday?
Uh-huh.
All right. Right, I'm live. I'm live right now, right? So you're gonna have to watch your words. Don't say too much. You cold?
Mm-mm.
All right, cool. Yeah, with my oldest daughter, uh, with my oldest daughter, with my oldest daughter right now. So today's her birthday. We about to head to the mall. Go. Hey, right, you wanna go to the Mexican club
What's
and do
that?
the pachacha?
Where's the Mexican club?
It's gonna be at the mall. It's Terengue and Maroto. You wanna do the Mexican club? Do the pachacha on the phone on the dance floor?
No.
Okay. You wanna watch me pachacha?
Mhm.
Okay. You want your Washington Commander sweater?
Mhm.
You got your tablet?
No.
Why?
I don't want to bring it.
Why?
It's charging.
Is it? There's a charger at my house. Sure you don't want it?
I'm sure.
Uh-huh. Okay. Put your seatbelt on.
Already on.
It's already on. Okay. What's the square root of 5,000?
Uh,
All right, there you go. You got all the answers. You know that one. It's 5 times 5.
10.
Ah, got to tighten up, Ryan. It's 25.
Okay.
But yeah, it's it gets to the point where like how when when are we going to change what we doing? Like when are we? How many times do you have to make the same claims, make the same arguments? It gets rejected time after time, until you stop and just ask the question, hey, maybe what I'm doing is wrong. Maybe the foundational stuff I've been studying has been wrong. Why is it so hard to admit, like, when we're wrong? Like, even judges get it wrong. That's why they have appeals court. Like, very few things are 100%. But even if you believe what you're doing is correct, that belief still has to comport with reality. Prime example, if I would have sent, if I would have, like, the emails and the letters and the docs I sent to credit acceptors, right? Prime example. And I send that to them. And then a week later or a couple of days later, whatever, I check my app, customer portal, and nothing changed. Nothing changed. Because the very first letter I sent them in 2024, I sent it in March. They didn't respond till June. But from March to June, it still showed that I had an obligation. Nothing changed on my account. And it wasn't the fact that I was actually looking for it. Nothing changed on my account. It didn't have no pause, no nothing. And they responded in June, was like, you signed a contract, you did this. Okay, so even though everybody was telling me that they BSing, and I know that they BSing, and I know that they BSing, I know that they BSing. Their response to me, I couldn't just look at it like, oh y'all, they just playing games. That's the stuff they do. They never gonna admit. No, because regardless if they admit or not, the threat of legal action and lawsuits, that their company is going to weigh that. Like, hold on, should we pursue? Should we not? But the thing so I say that to say that with the letter in 2024, I couldn't just look at it like, oh, they're just BSing me. That's just them. That's just them BSing me. I couldn't look at it like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. I couldn't look at it like they don't know what they talking about, and just kept trying to hit. At some point, I had to look at it like, okay, well, what about this? What about this letter that made them feel like they had a defense? I had to look at it from both sides. Like, why do they feel so confident that they can defend against this? I didn't look at it like, oh, they just messed up. Everybody was telling me, nah, bro, they be, and to me, I'm like, no, it wasn't good enough. Because the way they responded, they was very confident. They were very confident. So for me, I said, there was something that I didn't say, didn't hit on, that gave them the confidence that they can defend this in court. Because when they respond saying, you signed the debt here, you got the contract here, you signed a note to pay this on this day, it's here on this day, yada, 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 you owe, yada, 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 this, yada, 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 that. When they respond like that, I know that's their initial response to you, but it's really giving a tail for legal. They believe that they can defend in court. So if what everybody's teaching or trying to do, the end result is basically saying, I got you. There's nothing you can say. This is the right way. And when this is the right way, that means the right way is a set way. It can be it's recognized in court. It meets the court standards. It meets the court standards. There's nothing they can say. There's nothing they can do. And there's nothing that they can try to come with a defense because I got them on the law and the law says this, this, this. So when we look at that standard, when we say we did something right or we're following the right way, when they respond back saying, hey, in legal terms, we'll be able to defend against this. When they respond back in that undertone, I challenge people to not just automatically say, oh, they're wrong, this is right. I challenge people to look at it from like, okay, what if there's a chance that maybe I'm a little off on my presentment? What if, why are they so confident that they can defend against this? Because if what I'm understanding and what the courts are saying and what's been historically known, then there should be at least at minimum silence from them. So when you're taking courses of actions and you're saying that you're doing it the right way, and this what the law says, and the law tips on the scale in your favor, then, and if they know what the law says as well, and they know they're going to be bound by the same laws that you're citing, then if they know that, hold on, if he takes us to court or she takes us to court, with this law and this authority, we're not really going to have too much to say, right? Let's remain silent, or let's just get rid of this headache, right? So when you don't get those responses, then you got to ask yourself, and I'm not saying you're 100% wrong in your presentment. I'm just saying, look at it from all sides instead of rushing to conclusion that what you presented is 100% right. Because what if it's wrong? And then some people would say, no, it's not wrong, because if you look here and it says that this here, and then I will counter that by saying, well, what if you're interpreting that wrong? Those simple questions will save a lot of people heartache and pain. Clip that. It would save a lot of people from going down unnecessary rabbit holes. Because the way I read the law is one thing. The way their attorneys read the law is one thing. The way the courts interpret the law is another thing. Clip that. It's a totally different thing. And when it comes to presenting your claims and having case law to back it up, I'm not talking about just one case. I'm not talking one case from 1800s. One thing about when the courts rule, they always try to remain as consistent as they can. Because remaining consistent, it minimizes confusions within the circuit in which you're situated in. The courts can't rule one way for this claim and then a same exact similar claim in the exact elements rule a totally different way if all the facts and circumstances are the same. And this is why they have court precedent. This is why they have court precedent, to prevent one ruling for all the similar cases to be, arbitrary. So when I say, when it comes to accounting and securitization and all the elements and the courses of actions that we discuss in my group, when I say I have, and I'm just being on a low number, at least 50 cases, that's on the low end. All those 50 cases, all the elements are going to be similar. All the court's opinions are going to be similar. We have consistently ruled that this. We have consistently ruled. The problem with a lot of people when they say there's no case law on accounting, because they're treating accounting like it's a anecdotal standalone issue, and by citing the accounting itself gives you a course of action, not knowing that the accounting that you're citing has to be in conjunction with all your other legal courses of actions. Clip that. See, that's what they're missing. A standalone accounting claim, nobody wins, because accounting is nothing but a set of rules and guidelines that may or may not be adopted for financial reporting or financial institutions. Clip that. That's all it is. The accounting is not a legal defense in court. The accounting is only used as evidence to prove your claim. But your claim that you're proving cannot just be based on accounting. You literally have to have a legal cause of action under the statutes and what the courts recognize as a legal cause of action. And when you go into federal court, A lot of people got federal courts very misconstrued. Federal courts are courts of limited jurisdiction. There's not going to be too many claims under federal law that you as a consumer in a contract originated in a state can bring. And when they go to definitions in federal court, definition of debt, payment or this, that, and the third, when they cite, like, when they go to, like, let's say people bring up the UCC or the definitions of this or definition of trust or assignments, the federal courts are always going to look towards the state law for the definitions. Like, people, I've seen people in their lawsuits that they filed in court, and they will cite UCC 3-304. They'll put that in their lawsuits instead of citing their state laws version of the UCC, because it's the state laws version of the UCC in which the courts are going to get their interpretation from. Not only that, number two, the state law, everybody got their, pretty much all the states adopted their own version of the UCC. So by y'all citing UCC 304, that's the District of Columbia. Some state laws version of Article 3 UCC are different from the ones that y'all go online and look. Click that. See, it's these nuances that I'm talking about, that where a lot of people fail in court. Everything, the reasons why I say why a lot of people have failed, you're going to be amazed on how it's not going to be a lot of the big things. It's just going to be the little things. Interpretations of what you're reading, understanding court rules, understanding the difference between this and that, understanding that you have to grant the federal courts jurisdiction over your state claims. Clip that. Like, you don't even, like, they don't even, like, you can't even, like, the vehicle that you go into court with is going to be very different from your accounting arguments. Like, they don't even understand the intricacies of court. So when they say there's no state case law on accounting, because they're looking at a case law on accounting from the standpoint that is tied back to a consumer transaction. In reality, no consumer has ever raised the claims that I raised in my situation. And that's why you won't find it. Like, the whole Fourth Circuit, I was the first consumer ever to raise the claims that I raised with regards to accounting in the history of consumers and pro se litigants in the Fourth Circuit. So even the cases that has the accounting involved in it, or has that's centered around the accounting, even those cases, most people, unless you're in the Supreme Elite Team group, you wouldn't even know what cases to cite that has those cases. Because if I was just to come online and show everybody all the cases, they would have told themselves, damn, I would have never even thought to even look up this case, because a lot of these cases has nothing to do or are not centered around a consumer transaction. Clip that. Because they think accounting applies to a consumer transaction. They think accounting, like, it's intertwined and connected to a consumer transaction. That's what they really think. And it's not consumer transactions in which the accounting, like case law regarding it, what you're going to have to do is you got to pull the accounting from all these other cases and then tie it all into your consumer case. What I did is something that the courts will never do on your own. You have to make the accounting fit your consumer transaction. You have to make the judge apply this accounting to your consumer transaction. And the accounting is only going to be a guideline as far as all the other elements of your case. They think that you can just go to court and just say accounting, and that's it. The accounting is like the fifth or sixth thing on the list. You got to have so much other things down pat. Like, most definitely. And all this is going to be outlined in the Supreme Elite Team University, which begins February with the enrollment. The enrollment is open. I have a few people that the enrollment. You get the enrollment list. This is going to be pretty much it's an enrollment sheet going over the itinerary, what's going to be for the whole semester, yada yada yada. What's your reason for coming? Do you have any background in this? There's going to be some information like your age, just like your age, where you're from, your city where you from. Nothing personal like social security numbers or addresses and stuff. Like, we don't need that. Emails is just good enough. Homework assignments will be via email. There's going to be a portal set up where all the homework assignments are going to be posted there. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And another excitement is not only you're going to get my brain and my understanding interpretation, but you're going to get an inside look at the understanding of people who's been doing this for 30, 40, 50 years. Some of the top professionals. And the top professionals, as crazy as it sounds, I never went to them asking them to tell me this or figure this out for me. I always went to them like, yo, this is the section right here. This is what I believe it is. This is what I see. And this is how I think we can tie it back to a consumer transaction. And I mean, this is public. I mean, I posted the videos. I got more videos of the professionals talking about me when my partner, because he's the ones that's friends with all of them, and they were all talking about me. I'll be posting that soon. And the partner told us we was this in a master class, the talking about accounting. Actually, we got the final leg coming this week live from New Jersey. I'll be doing the last class live from New Jersey. And that gets into the real breakdown. So that class got 3 so far. One more class that is still ongoing. You actually see the real accounting and how we tie it back to us as a consumer. And why is that so vital? Because less than 1% of all pro se litigants in the world would even think about bringing it up as an argument. Like, it won't even cross their radar. Like, it's nothing even be. They won't even do this. And I'm always trying to stay innovative because I know the system often changes. I know there's always new rules. There's new regulations coming out every day. There's new securitization trusts set up every day. So I actually am still a student of this, student of accounting, student of securities law, student of corporate world, a student of corporate structuring. I try to soak up as much knowledge as I can every day. And even though When it comes to this from a consumer standpoint, I know way more than the average person. I still study. I still research. Like, if you look at my study files, it's nothing but the top professionals that have been respected in this field, documents that I research from. Hell, documents that I read to my Supreme Elite Team group class. Like, their publishings, their findings, court cases, case law, even case law where people argue things wrong. We use that as a study group. We use that as a study. We use more cases where people lost than won, because I like to show where people went wrong, so my group and myself, we can stay ahead of the curve. Okay, you see where they went wrong with this argument? Now y'all see why I say we can't argue it like this? Look at the judge's opinion. You see they're saying the same thing that I'm saying, how you have to argue it. It keeps us on our toes, because the man that stops increasing wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is a man that has stopped living. You're always going to have to keep studying. There's never going to be a point in time in this where you just say, I'm done studying, I figured it all out, there's nothing left for me to know. There's never going to be a time with this, especially when you're dealing with highly complex accounting situations and securitization. And this is why I didn't just study credit acceptance. I studied JP Morgan. I studied Wells Fargo. I studied Santander. I studied Westlake. I studied Midland, Synchrony Bank. I'm studying Exeter, Kinetic, all these all these normal companies that buys debts. I study them. Hell, I study Walmart. I study Nike. I study the Postal Service. I studied the government sponsored entities, the GSEs. I didn't just study securitization. I studied all the interest only strips, residual only, mortgage services right, not just the mortgage backed securities, but all the different ways of how they strip down the trenches and issue more. I studied the whole in depth, and that's when I found out, like, oh my gosh, this is complex. Securitization is not just the vague interpretations that you see every day. Securitization, it is very layered, very methodically structured. It is a piece of work. And then me understanding accounting and just investigating and studying, taking so many hours a day dedicated throughout the week, that I understood that, oh no, it's not just one accounting standard that you have to cite to prove your case. You got to cite like 7 or 8 of them, and they all got to intertwine. You all got to line those different standards, all because those different standards are all interconnected, and they're painting the picture that we want the courts to see. But every single one of those different accounting standards, they got their own set of rules, and none of that shit is 2 or 3 pages. All of it is lengthy. And then understanding the different diagrams, and before all that, understanding the language to the terms that they use. Clip that. Understanding the language, understanding how it starts off as a mortgage note, but it takes on 4 or 5 different names. And when it hits the secondary market, it takes on a totally different name. Like the intricacies on how they structure them. I see, before I could ever think about how to get my argument down packed, I had to understand how they operate first. From the most intricate details to the most insignificant ones. So before I even put my own stuff together, I spent a majority of the time studying them. Oh shit, there's like 4 different transactions going on at the same time that they layered. And that's why I uncovered that there's 4 different transactions going on at the same time. And when I uncovered it, I said, yo, ask the attorney this. There's at least 3 or 4 transactions that apply to us. And this is why. I studied this and I found out this. And he said, you're absolutely correct. That's exactly how it goes. He said, that's the part that many attorneys don't know. He said, that's what makes securitization so complex. It's a bunch of layered transactions, all disguised. And I was like, damn, I just told the group that 2 nights ago in class. So I have a very different approach to this, more than any. You'll see a lot of people and students. I have a very different approach to this. Like, everybody is not going to reach out to me. Everybody's not, because the advanced level that I teach from, and it goes back to that, 1% thing. I teach from a highly advanced level. So it's gonna, I mean, it's if you expect to go into a class and immediately just get something down pat, I think you have the wrong understanding of what the system is. Clip that. It's all going to be foreign at the beginning, but that's why I say people got to be patient with themselves. They got to get themselves, give yourself time to understand. Don't just give up on yourself fast. Give yourself time to start picking up on it. Because once you break through the layers, man, all that shit is easy. I swear to God. And this is why it's one big smoke screen. Very easy to figure out. But they layer it up so much where the layers, the complexities to, I know how I can look at a standard balance sheet and none of it is going to say auto loans or mortgages. They all got a totally different name on the balance sheet. And I can pinpoint exactly, all right, y'all, this is where our loans at right here. And it's going to be under a heading of a totally different name that you wouldn't even think. So if you're looking at it like, all right, my mortgage, my auto, yeah, it's going to be referencing it, but it's going to be saying a totally different name. So I always tell people, learn the legal terms to how they define them. Learn how to speak their language. Learn how to operate in their world. You can't try to impose your belief in that world. Your beliefs has to comport with the realities of their world. Clip that. And I know this is something that a lot of people will refuse to take because it forces them to address the questions that they don't want to. Clip that. Have I been wrong? What if I'm wrong? A lot of people are scared to ask themselves that question. What if I've been wrong? What if I brought this packet and I was wrong? It wasn't correct. What if I paid all this money to these teachers and none of it was ever going to work from the beginning? Clip that. But then I would just say, well, instead of, you don't have to answer that question if you don't want to. All you have to do is just look at all the money you spent, all the processes you tried, and then just look at the results. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. I swear, when I say the results is 1%, Because once you find a lane that works for you, there's no need for you to start learning new stuff. The only things that you're going to learn that's new are things that are going to enhance your foundation. There's no need to be floating around in different spaces, trying to learn this and learn this now. Once you find what works for you, and that's your reality, and that reality comports economically to that world, I swear to God, there's nothing new that you need to learn. Everything that you're learning is just enhancing and increasing what you already have built upon. Clip that. And that's the reality. And for some people, whether you accept it or not, you got some things where it's like, this is what I believe, this is what I feel, this is what I think. No, everything that I'm talking, this is, oh my God. Everything that I'm talking, this is just what it is. Everything that I'm talking, this is just what it is. And it's not what it is because I'm saying what it is. It's what it is because the professionals that got way more experience than anybody in these spaces trying to figure it out says what it is. It's what the court cases have said what it is. It's what the law says what it is. From the government to the IR, I can find confirmations from the government to the IRS to case law to accounting to securities. And court cases all over those different spectrums, I guarantee you, they're all going to be saying the same thing that I say. So it's not like I need you to believe what I'm saying. I could care less, to be honest with you. I swear to God, it doesn't make me no different because I'm still going to be doing it. I'm still going to be attacking it that way. So it doesn't really matter. And that's why I don't need to be online 7 days a week, 5 hours a day, trying to get paid off the app or something, because I know I'm utilizing this in real life. I'm a living beneficiary, direct beneficiary of my teachers and study. This truck that I'm in right now, as you can see, I'm benefiting from my understanding of it. I'm a direct beneficiary of it. Having a vehicle and not being legally obligated or legally and proving that you're legally not responsible or obligated at the contract face amount. And take me out of it, I'll prove the same thing with anyone else in their financing. Because it's all the same. I've seen it 100 times. You know how many contracts I've read? Do you know how many securitization structures I've read? They got their own different elements, but all the core issues will remain the same. Hell, even if it's not a securitization, even if you just deal with a credit union, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The way we argue it, the finance company has nothing to say. As a matter of fact, they're not going to want to say anything. They have nothing to say. They're either going to stop collecting or tell you they don't want to talk and stop collect. With me, they stopped collecting and said, we don't want to talk either. Now, is that to say they're not going to fight in court? I'm always preparing for a fight. If I don't have to fight, that's cool. But I do know one thing. If you can make it to the discovery stage, that's where deals are met. That's where settlements happen. Clip that. So y'all can take it for what it's worth. Like I said, I'm not trying to tell you a way. I'm telling you, it doesn't work any other way than what I teach. It doesn't work any other way than what the professionals know. It doesn't work any other way. Just go. Just fucking go. It doesn't work any other way. That's the reality. It does not work any other way. I wish it did. It doesn't work. The way they're online and Facebook talking about accounting actually works the exact opposite. And if you think I'm lying, all you got to do is just say, hey, show me proof from your accounting documents that you sent to them. Show me proof, because I showed mine. But you notice how everybody else that's talking accounting, they still haven't showed any evidence of what they're talking about works. Clip that. You notice that, right? Just look on Facebook. Everybody's just posting. You see that they're posting stuff, but they're not saying, hey, this is the way. And because look, and it's not that you can tell that I know the true way, because I don't give a damn. None of my arguments have changed, whether it's my client with the debt buyer case in Ohio, whether it's my client in arbitration, whether my client with United Wholesale Mortgage, whether it's my client in bankruptcy. None of my arguments changed. And guess what? All different elements of the case, but all of their arguments are the same. All the core issues are the same. All the core issues, although different amongst those people, are all relevant in core issues and got case law to back up all those. So no matter what it is, if all the core issues are the same and relevant, that's when you know internally I found it. Because I shouldn't have to learn a whole different product, this and this. It should be consistent throughout. It should be consistent. No matter if it's a debt buyer, auto, mortgage, credit card, it should all be, the arguments should all be consistent. Different structuring of the arguments because everybody's at different stages, but the core issues should all be the same. When these gurus can do that, like a person can have a credit card case, a person can have an auto case, a person can have a mortgage case. I guarantee you, all the core elements of what I teach is going to be present in all of them. Argue and structured in 3 different ways to match their own specific circumstances. This is why I don't believe in a packet, one size. Anybody that's online selling a packet for $222 and everybody just buys it, it's bullshit. It's a money grab. Now clip that. Wanna know why? Because there's no way that one general packet can meet the requirements of every specific case. Yeah, the core issues that what I argue are all the same, but the presentment is going to be different from this case to this case because everybody's case is different. So when they got these generalized packets and courses and templates, best believe it's nothing but a money grab. Because it's in the lawyer, we was talking about that. It's virtually impossible for you to have a general packet on this dealing with accounting securitization because everybody's at different stages. But the mere fact they think that it's one shoe fits all, that it just shows lack of understanding. And see, I don't look at, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you're talking about. I look at, do you understand this system or not? And for me, it doesn't take long to know if somebody understands the system or not, just based on the stuff that they teach. A lot of people look at it like, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's good. I'm going to try that. And I can look at it 5 seconds like dead on arrival. So that's what it is, y'all. That's all I have for tonight. Y'all stay blessed, stay safe, and remember, Supreme Elite Team, where everyone else fails, we succeed.